Hi, everyone. So I've been having the conversation with a few people about what we've been talking about in different meetings about keeping things simple, organized for the kids, less excuses about not being able to attend a meeting, things like that. So one of the things we talked about was scheduling Zoom meetings as events in the Google Calendar and what would be the easiest way to do that. So I had a lot of different suggestions, and as I was kind of investigating this, I came across something that I think is hopefully really useful to you. So not everybody knows this, but anything by Google, at least in my opinion, is always pretty robust, but also very straightforward. I think they intentionally kind of keep things simple so that everything works and it's very user friendly. But as a result, some of the little detail things you might want don't always exist. And so what happens is that people will sometimes build apps and extensions to enhance their Google Classroom or their Google Sites or what have you. And so that's what I'm going to show you here. As I was looking into things, I came across the fact that Zoom has an add-on for Google Calendar. All right, so here what I've got is my classes, and I just made up one. I just called it my playground. So I'm going to open this up. So this is my fake class. And if I go to the calendar, so I'm going to go to classwork and then bring up the Google Calendar. Here's what I found. Over on the right-hand side, a little toolbar will appear. And there'll be a plus sign too. It's just taking a little while to load up, so be patient here. So if you click on this plus sign, this is where you can get add-ons. And so if I click on that, and even though it's appearing as the first option here, I'm just going to type in Zoom. And what you're looking for is Zoom for G Suite, this one. So this is Zoom, specifically an add-on for all your Google Suite applications, including the calendar. So I'm going to click on that. And I'm going to install it. It's going to ask for permissions. You continue. I'll have to sign into a particular account. I'll use my school account. Tells me all the things I'm allowing. I'll click allow. And it's been installed. So when I close this out, and I go back to my calendar, you'll notice there's a Zoom for G Suite button here. Okay, so now that I've got my add-on installed, what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically set up all my Zoom meetings, let's say for period 1, from here on out. I just want to get them all done right now. And I can do that right here, which is what I really like. I don't have to ever open up Zoom. I can just do everything in the Google Calendar, which a lot of us that's where we're going to be spending most of our time anyways. So why not just do everything directly in here? So I'm in my calendar for my class. I am going to go over to the left and hit create. And so what is now changed is this. Let's call this period 1 Zoom meeting. And events. Now, of course, it just, whatever my cursor happened to be on, that's what it put in as the day. So I'm going to change this. I'm going to, let's say, have my classes start on August 31st. This is period 1. So according to our schedule, that would be at 8 a.m. And then here's the part I like. Just like in Zoom, you can have a meeting repeat, but an option that Zoom does not have. In Zoom, you can have it repeat every day, but then that means it also repeats through Saturday and Sunday. But in Google, they give you the option to pick every weekday, Monday through Friday. And so that whole Saturday, Sunday thing, we don't have to worry about it. It's just the days we want, just weekdays only. All right, so I'm going to click that one. And then here's what happened. When we put that add-on in, right here under Add Video Conferencing, we now got another option. If you don't have this add-on, the only option is Google Meet, obviously because it's a Google product. But now on the drop-down menu, you also get Zoom Meeting. So you can click that. And then we're pretty much good to go. Scroll down to the bottom, hit save. And so what it's going to do now, you can barely see it on the bottom of my screen, but if I go to the next month, I am now scheduled for period 1 from here on out. I don't have to do anything else. I don't have to keep scheduling meetings. I am just good to go. Okay? Now, let's say something happens. Let's say this Friday the 18th is some special schedule, or maybe it's a holiday and we want to get rid of this one. You still have any options you have on a normal calendar. You can click on it and you can delete it. And you can either choose to delete that particular event or anything following it or all events. In this case, I'm just trying to delete that single day. So I'll click OK. And so all my other Zoom meetings are still good to go, just not that one. All right. And what will be nice for the kids is they can just click on their calendar, and if they open up the meeting, here's the link. If I click on this link right now, it's going to take me straight to my Zoom app. And you can see it's redirecting me. It's going to launch the meeting, say open Zoom. I'm just going to cancel this, but you get the idea. So now all the hot links are there for the kids to just follow on any given day. Now, here's what I would do, though, is I'd take it a step further because I haven't set up my security. More than likely, it'll just pick up your default settings in Zoom, but I'd like to just double check. So I'm going to click on any one of these instances of a meeting and open it up. Okay, and I'm going to get into edit mode. So I double clicked it. I'm not just looking at it, but I'm where I can edit things. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back over to the right. That Zoom for G Suite add-on, I'm going to click on that. Now what's going to happen? Earlier, the only meeting ID listed in here was my personal meeting ID. But now there's a new one. Generated ID, blah, blah, blah. This is the ID number that's been set for all those 8 o'clock period 1 meetings. So now what I want to do is I want to set up the security. Now, in an earlier video, this is what I talked about. This is how I'm planning on starting out, but other people may choose to do something different. I am going to leave the passcode not clicked on, so no passcode. I am going to click on the waiting room. I talked about this in an earlier video. I kind of want to use that as kind of like a timeout space. So if I boot a kid out, my classroom instructions are going to be to try to log in, but I might have them cool their jets in the waiting room for 5 minutes. If I keep going down, I'm not going to require registration. I'm going to try it without. If you do click this one, this is where they have to type in their name and email address before they can log in. I'm going to leave this checked off. I don't want them joining before I do. Yes to mute participants upon entry. Now, this is the one I like to use. Only signed in users can join. I'm going to click that on. And because this is logged in to our district account, those same options we had in our district Zoom accounts are there, is these 4. And the one I like is this one. Only San Diego Unified students and staffs can join. So unless their login has a stu.sandy.net or sandy.net identification, nobody else can log in. So for me, that's going to be my security, that it's only kids and adults logged in with their district ID. And then when I scroll back to the top, I just update my meeting. And then once that takes hold, my internet's a little slow here, we'll close that out. And then save. And that edit I just made, I want that to happen to all my Zoom events that I've scheduled, all my period 1 8 o'clock sessions. So I'm going to click OK. Okay. And so, once you get the hang of this, it's just not going to take a lot of time, but I've basically got my Zoom meetings set up. Oops, scroll too far here. For the end of September, August, all the way forever, pretty much. This is, if I keep scrolling, September, all my meetings are there. October, all my meetings are there. November, all my meetings are there. All right, and so I've got this basically repeating endlessly. And what I can just essentially do is this. So let's say, I can't remember the exact date, but let's say it's end of the quarter. So quarter would be, what were we talking about, 9 weeks. So I forget the exact date here, but let's just say September, somewhere in October. So let's say I no longer want this to read period 1. I can either edit it and make it period 4 for the new quarter, or I can just delete and then start over. In this case, I think it'd probably just be easier just to edit. And when I edit, I'll just pick the starting date, edit it, change it to period 4, and then just for any events past that. So at the moment, I originally had other plans. I was going to do everything in Zoom and then calendar everything on Google Classroom, but I'm thinking this is easier. I mean, once I got the hang of it, I was able to schedule all my period 1 sessions in 5 minutes. I mean, I can get everything done, and I no longer have to worry about my Zoom meetings because they are just there calendared for the kids to just click on it and click the hot link, and boom, they're in my meeting. If they're not logged into their district ID, it'll prompt them to, just the way I've set up my security, and I'm good to go. All right, so I hope this helps. If you have any questions, of course, contact me. And my only caveat to this is that I haven't actually officially tested this out. It was something I ran across when people were requesting this kind of stuff. And I thought, you know what, this seems like the easiest way to do it. So I thought I'd put this video together. Now, when I get started with this as the school year begins, we'll see. And maybe I'll have to go back and change the video and apologize to everybody. But for now, it seems pretty straightforward and pretty bulletproof. So this is the way I'm going to do things. All right. So good luck with this.